In this video, I'll be philosophizing on initiative as it pertains to distinctions within the overarching personality characteristics of studiousness and or prioritization and or enterprising, each meaningful to engage self-tasking, more likely to optimize certain personal goal success and or actualize meaningful life pursuits, from engaging the cultivation of one's ability to start in terms of engaging more meaningful current to future oriented navigations on pursuit to those personal goals and or meaningful life pursuits, meaning that there are distinctions within the momentary personal goals one may be pursuing that may be directly and or indirectly related to one's more long-term life pursuits, that one may engage more life planning to brainstorm the more meaningful cultivations compared to what may be more meaningful within the day's course in order to engage more meaningful learning appropriate to engage self-conducted learning that temperately builds more meaningful problem solving related to certain goals accomplishable within the daybreak one endeavors more meaningfully within. As it is more meaningful to more uniquely the personality characteristics, studiousness, there is more elaboration into the step-by-step abilities and or need to study certain situations related to those personal goals. You may think that studying is uniquely for students. However, this is a mistake. Individuals whom are engaging professional work, whom are more competent, tend to study what they need in order to optimize the self-knowledge and or self-awareness most meaningfully, including studying the internal and or external environment from one's surrounds to the surrounding area to identify where certain things are and or to learn the distinct tools and or technologies needed to complete certain self-tasks and or to infer certain tools and or technologies one may not yet hold the meaningful self-knowledge and or self-awareness yet may need, meaning that in some cases, some individuals will necessitate self-conducted learning that elaborate future-oriented thinking processes more meaningful to optimize one's workflow, ultimately optimizing the intracategorical and or intracategorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies within certain volitions and or conducts as one's studying that's meaningful to elaborate existing priors and or whom are more likely to get started from holding the self-knowledge and or self-awareness that is more meaningful to provide individuals the information needed to work, not necessarily whom within the engaging of certain self-tasks constantly need to rely on others to be able to solve problems for them, who may put off the meaningful self-conducted learning, avoiding opportunities to expand their self-knowledge and or self-awareness and or to solve more complex problems from engaging meaningful thinking, including outlining. For example, individuals who may desire to cook a tasty meal that's not just tasty, yet nutritious and delicious, meaning that an individual may hold certain personal goals within this self-task, engaging outlining within the limited ingredients they may have. This means gathering the ingredients within their kitchen, then ordering the ingredients within a certain locality within the kitchen to visualize the distinct ingredients, engaging current to future oriented mentalizing of what the meal should be like in terms of certain self-preferential evaluations. It's more likely to satisfy certain essential and or necessitated underlying psychological needs to hunger and or mostly meaning in life, yet may also satisfy the needs for individual autonomy and or competence and or uniqueness. Some individuals may experience more of a deeper connection to the self in terms of the unique, meaningful feely-wheelies they experience within engaging that creative process, whom are studying the ingredients within outlining to optimize current to future-oriented thinking processes that are more likely to solve the complex problems associated with certain unknown unknowns in order to fill in gaps in meaningful information, ultimately optimizing healthy psychological functioning and or positive subjective well-being with the most meaningful choices one conducts from opting for the healthier whole food ingredients, including opting for the ingredients more likely to be catered to one's palate in terms of their self-preferential evaluations of their tastes, drawing from prior existing relevant and or appropriate and or meaningful self-knowledge and or self-awareness. Compared to procrastination, individuals whom are more likely to procrastinate are more likely to struggle with writing the grocery list for even a meal that they may desire to cook, yet may not quite desire to engage the current to future oriented planning needed, avoiding and or feeling certain pangs of despair and or deprivation they are avoiding instead of solving, whom are more likely to experience procrastination from those pangs. Compared to enterprising, more likely to cultivate certain abilities within getting started and exploring those unknown unknowns from starting. Individuals whom are higher in enterprising are more likely to engage meaningful personal goals and or life pursuits, in some cases backwards, meaning they may begin with a self-task, more likely to, within engaging those self-tasks, cultivate the self-knowledge and or self-awareness, more likely to potentiate current to future-oriented, possible, probabilistic, doables within what expands one's explorations from engaging more necessitated self-conducted learning within the enterprising process, needing more responsible conducts, current to future oriented, to get started and to be able to not uniquely get started, yet manage oneself in terms of one's affairs appropriately in order to cultivate values, valorizing the meaning in life. The opposite polarity is fatalism. These are individuals whom may see things as completely fixed and or unchangeable, with no ability and or need to get started, as things will turn out as they have always been predestined, whom are more likely to experience severe depression and or anxiety and or post-traumatic stress disorder, as individuals whom are fatalistic are more likely to give up and or not necessarily quite give up, as they may lack the need to give up per se from never having tried. These individuals are more likely to be the individuals whom are the nihilists who never desire to get out of bed in the morning, for had truly things been predetermined, one would automatically, robotically get up in the morning and things would always result in the exacting manner of course things always have, with certain gaps in meaningful information that are truly complex to even articulate clearly what that would realistically mean, as it's truly counterproductive to what it means to live meaningfully, as you need to be able to confront the unknown unknowns with the will to opt for your own volitions, meaning there are volitional choices needed to conduct in order to live at all. Had one remained in their bed, they would certainly experience the pangs of deprivation, calling one to those courses to learn more meaningful cooking skills, being able to consume that nutritious and or delicious meal. From studying the ingredients, one holds not the self-knowledge nor self-awareness, whom needs to engage more creative explorations in order to learn. Compared to prioritization, that's most meaningful for rank ordering one's needs within the personal goal and or life pursuits, as one is pursuing those unique personal goals and or life pursuits, whom is more likely to engage the executive functioning that's current to future oriented, evaluating certain risks and or benefits, most meaningful to ordering the rank order of distinct priorities within one's current to future oriented navigations, more likely to elicit dopamine that transforms the prefrontal cortex with more dopaminergic projections that within more meaningful navigations shape the form of certain meaningful pathways, engaging more meaningful dopaminergic pathway neuroplasticity within the brain that transforms the nervous system associated with certain volitions and or conducts, meaning it's not uniquely the brain that's being transformed, it's the engaging of certain meaningful volitions and or conducts shaping from the origins of the executive functioning the nervous system,